Hey everybody, Jim here with another video for you. This is Shocktober 2025, episode 17. But before I begin, at the end of this video, if you like what you see, please consider giving me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, leave those comments below. Let me know how you feel about this series. Let me know how you feel about the films I'm about to highlight. Now today is Friday, October 17th, and today's topic is going to be overlooked, underseen gems. 5 films that maybe you've never even heard of or maybe you have never seen. These none of these were big studio releases at the time. However, a couple of them have gained some sort of notoriety through the years. But one thing that they all have in common is that very few people have heard of these films or seen them. So I know there is going to be some people in the comments who have seen them all because they're horror freaks like me, but let's begin. So we're going to go in chronological order. I've got one movie from the 70s, 3 from the 80s, and 1 from the 90s. The first one on the list. From 1976, Massacre at Central High. This is a Synapse Films release. I watched this one originally on cable TV quite a bit when it first came out. And it's actually got a really good cast of young actors. Andrew Stevens, Robert Carradine, Kimberly Beck. There's some familiar faces in this. Lonnie O'Grady, who was on 8 is Enough at the time. And this movie basically is like Heathers before Heathers. There's a kid who comes into this new school. He sees these other kids getting bullied by the preppy jock guys, so he starts killing them. And then the next thing you know, the nerds start being bullies. So he decides to start killing them too. And it kind of goes from there. Very low budget, but very good movie. So the first recommendation today is Massacre at Central High. Next, from 1980, Fade to Black. This stars Dennis Christopher, and a very, very young Mickey Rourke is also in this. This is a strange movie, but I really enjoy it. The gist on this movie is Dennis Christopher works in a movie warehouse where they archive old movies, and he is obsessed with old black and white movies, especially movies like White Heat with Jimmy Cagney and some of the Hopalong Cassidys and some of the classic horror movies, of course. And the other thing is that this kid is constantly being picked on, and he snaps. And he basically starts dressing up like some of his favorite movie characters and going out for revenge. Again, this is more of a psychological thriller than a horror movie, but I've always really enjoyed it. Dennis Christopher gives a really good performance. Like I said, Mickey Rourke has got a very small performance, but he's very young in this. And Tim Thomerson, who is another actor who I've always enjoyed, is also in this. Again, not necessarily a scary movie, but it is a very good movie. So the second recommendation today is Fade to Black. Next, also from 1980, He Knows You're Alone. This is a slasher film where the hook on this is the killer was jilted at the altar, so he hunts down brides-to-be and kills them right before their wedding. This one, again, it's not very gory. It's more of a suspense film than a typical slasher. But the thing that this movie is most known for, right there, Tom Hanks. This was Tom Hanks' big screen debut. He's got a very small part, but as soon as he pops up on screen, you know he's going to be a star someday. And he, of course, did become one. Excuse me. Again, as far as the stalker slasher movies go, this one is pretty tame compared to some of the other ones. It's not very gory, but it is very suspenseful in spots. It's well acted, and it's well put together. So the third selection today is He Knows You're Alone. These last two, though, are at another level. I love these last two so much. This one from 1980, Dead and Buried. Written and directed by Dan O'Bannon and starring James Ferrantino, Jack Albertson, and what the hell's her name from Flash Gordon? I forget now. I'll find it here in a minute, maybe. Melody Anderson, that's her name, who played Dale Arden in Flash Gordon. Robert Englund also pops up in a very small part here. I don't want to give away this movie, okay? All I'll say is that it's really creepy. It's really well done. There's some shocking moments of violence in this movie, and it's just really cool. I can't go into the plot too much. It's something that you have to see for yourself. I will say this though. Jack Albertson from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, who played or Grandpa Joe, he is not Grandpa Joe in this movie. So, the fourth recommendation today is Dead and Buried. We're going to end it on this one from 1990. And I absolutely adore this movie. And out of the five, this one is probably the least seen. And I'm talking about Brain Dead from 1990. And you want to talk about killer cast? How about Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton, George Kennedy, Bud Cort, Patricia Charbonneau, Nicholas Pryor, and the names go on and on and on. This is a Roger Corman production. Very low budget. And again, not necessarily a horror movie, but it's a lot of fun. The gist of this, and again, I'm going to tread lightly because I don't want to give it away, but the gist on this is Bill Pullman is a brain surgeon. He knows everything about brains, and he basically specializes in schizophrenia. And Bill Paxton comes to him and says that there's a guy who works for his company who has national security information in his brain that they need to get out. So they want Bill Pullman to perform surgery on him to get the information out, which he does successfully. But then he starts suffering from schizophrenia and starts seeing paranoia and delusions, and it's just crazy, and it just goes from there. This movie is fun. That's the main way to describe it. It's a whole lot of fun. And again, Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton are both awesome in this movie. You could tell that they're having a blast just playing off of each other. So this one is available on Scream Factory. It's very cheap. Again, this is the one out of the five that I would probably recommend the most as far as just having a good old time. So the fifth and final selection today is Brain Dead. I hope you enjoyed these picks. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, leave those comments below. Before I leave, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow, Saturday, October 18th, will be the next live edition of Shooting the Shit with Jim. My very special guest will be Bryan from the Horror Punk. Bryan's a great guy. I've gotten to know him a little bit through some podcasts that we've done with Sean and Kenny together. And again, he's just a great guy. He knows an awful lot about movies, especially horror films. So I hope you can join us tomorrow for that. That's going to be a great episode. Also, on Tuesday, the 21st, next week, on the next edition of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim, Bryan will be back as a special guest, as will Larry, the Horrorcat Dad. And we are going to be talking about franchise horror, some of our favorite horror franchises. You can look at my blanket, and there's a whole bunch of different franchises, and some of them will be covered. So again, I hope you can join us either on one or both of those shows. Talking Movies with Sean and Kenny, that it will be on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can watch that either on Sean's channel at Movie Assault or on the Talking Movies 2024 channel. And Shooting Shit with Jim will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central, and you can watch that right here on Jim's movie channel. I will be leaving links to all of the channels in the description below. I hope everybody is having a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.